What's up everyone, Ronnie Shalvis here to bring you a tutorial on the double leg, but not just any double leg, a double leg in the mountains. But you don't need mountains to learn a double leg. I'm just here because it's a beautiful location and I felt like filming a tutorial in a cool location like this. Now before learning the double leg, I would recommend strongly that you check out my side flip tutorial. That's kind of a solid foundational trick to learn before learning the double leg. Some people actually learn the double leg first because it is similar to like a barrel roll, which is a little bit easier of a flip to learn than a side flip. But if you have a solid side flip down, the double leg is going to come much easier. Now there are some slight tweaks and variations to the double leg. You'll notice like trickers do it a certain way or break dancers. Everyone kind of does it a little bit differently. The variations are basically how much your body is turning, what your setup is like. Some people do kind of a spinning jump into it. Other people just do a run straight block jump into the double leg. That's how I do it. I just block into it like I'm gonna side flip, but then I just crank it over extra hard and bring my leg straight. So when doing the double leg, because your legs are straight out and you're trying to kind of keep your body as bent as possible, it's going to be a slower rotation than a side flip because you're not bringing your knees into your chest to get a harder rotation. And so the first thing you want is a really strong, powerful jump and block. And how I like to do that is I like to make sure that as I'm blocking, my legs are pretty powerful and straight. I'm not bending very much. Some people do bend and jump that way when they do them, but this is how I do them. I like to focus on more block technique than just straight power jumping because I don't have the greatest hops ever. So when I'm blocking, just like I've taught you blocking in other flip tutorials, basically are using your momentum and then you're reaching with your legs out in front of you to stop that momentum and push it into vertical momentum so that you can get more height, and it also adds to your rotational momentum. If you are stopping your forward momentum, it's going to throw you into the flip. So combining all that blocking technique, you really want a powerful block for the double leg so that you can bring your legs all the way around. So once you have a solid block and a jump and you're setting for the double leg, just like the side flip, you want to set tall, get your arms really into it so that you can get a powerful swing and torque with your arms and get your chest up. But then immediately as you leave the ground doing the double leg, instead of bringing your knees to your chest like you would with a side flip, you're actually going to be kind of throwing your hips really hard and kind of tucking your back in. And from this point, the idea is to just, as soon as your feet leave the ground, you just let your legs kind of come in towards your body straight, so you're making an L shape, and you just kind of torque your legs around as hard and as fast as you can. You're gonna feel like your legs want to trail behind, but you just gotta kind of force them through to get them around as quick as possible, because if you don't, then you'll probably land on your side or your back. And so make sure that you really put a lot of torque into your torso and your hips and keeping your legs straight as you do that. What I also find helps me land it easier is, instead of staying completely sideways the whole time, I actually allow my body to rotate so that I'm landing backwards. Because my body is making an L shape, that means I'm gonna have more reach with my legs for landing. So even if my body's still here, I'm going to land with my legs straight because that's the position they're in. Whereas if I'm sideways, it's not gonna work as well, and I have to land more upright to not land awkwardly. There are variations to that, but I like to land backwards because it does make it easier for me to land. Great way to practice this trick is on trampolines or off ledges, onto pads, things like that. Anything where you can have more air time, kind of get in that position for the L-sit or double leg so that you can really bring it around. Because doing it straight from flat ground for the first time, it's going to be hard to really get there because you're so focused on making sure you get the flip around that you'll be tempted to want to tuck. But if you can practice it somewhere where you have a lot of air time, going into a foam pit or onto pads, to really think about it as you're doing it, it'll really help you perfect that technique. And if you film yourself while you're doing it, it'll additionally allow you to see what you look like so you can improve upon it and also see the way you're doing it. Sometimes I like to film myself just so I can see the style of a trick I'm doing, and sometimes I'm like, that looks kind of lame, and so I'll try and adjust the style so I can make it look cooler. So that's just some tips to keep in mind when working this trick. Another way you can practice this move is to have a buddy or a block in a gym and practice doing kind of the barrel roll over that object, but keeping your legs straight. And as you practice doing that motion, you can slowly use the object less and less till you can clear it with your legs straight, and then you're doing a double leg. Now if you want to do double legs off ledges, that is going to be a little bit easier because you have more air time to get this trick around. But remember, it can still be dangerous, so you want to make sure that you are in a safe environment, landing on pads or whatever you need, and that you feel confident in the way you're doing it. Just remember that when you are going off of height, especially if you're working on getting higher and higher, that you really want to open up early and not land in an L-sit, because if you're doing drop and landing in that position, it's going to really mess up your back and not good for your knees. So you want to make sure that if you are doing a double leg off of something, that you hit the position and then open up again so that you can land in a correct position to absorb the impact, whether that's just stomping it or going into a back roll, whatever it is you're going for. Just keep that in mind when doing it off of drops. So there's the basic tips I have for you on a double leg. Again, if you have a side flip down really well, then you have most of it covered. It's just going to be working in keeping your leg straight, which is the hardest part. But with practice, as always, you'll be able to get it over time. Just keep at it and have fun with it. Hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and if it was, be sure to subscribe for more tutorials and let me know in the comments any requests you have for future tutorials. I'm also going to be redoing previous tutorials I've done before, since it's been a few years since I've done those, so just let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to do what I can. But otherwise, as always, thank you for watching.